in a week, we will we will enter the fourth weekend and the final weekend of Alliance Tournament 12, where we've got a lot of pretty great events lined up for you, because we'll be entering the best out of 3 matches.
Yes.
Which will be the semifinals of the winners bracket and the finals of the losers bracket.
Yeah, and then the best out of 5 finals, which
Yep.
was amazing last year.
Yes.
I've definitely like it couldn't have gone better if we had somehow like hired everyone as actors.
And in fact, somebody accused you of exactly that thing. So yeah, they were insanely good series. It wasn't. There were some where there was a 3 streak, right, where they went through and won every match, but not by much. There were a lot of crushed computer mice and a lot of sweating going on in between those matches. So, and also thankfully a lot of yelling on comms, which a great many of us enjoyed at the end of last year's tournament.
It creates good history.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know what else is coming up very soon? Vegas. And that is going to be spectacular. I'm going to be there again. I think, Mr. Gargan, you're going to be joining us as well.
There, yep.
And it is a great time every year. We're going to have a bunch of devs giving presentations. I'm going to be giving like 1.5. I haven't picked topics yet. Mr. Manifest is like hounding me to get that to him, but I've been too busy with the tournament.
You're obviously busy.
Yeah. Probably one of them should be wormholes, I think. Like everyone wants to hear about that.
Yes, we've heard some stories that your comment on wormholes is very much needed and wanted. And then I'm going to be there, and there will be some sort of open PvP that's going to be awesome, as it was last year. And yeah, Vegas is going to be fun all around. Next weekend we've also got a lot of good guests that will join us in the studio for the long breaks that we might have. So we'll try to cut up the talking about spaceships between matches as much as we can, so that it keeps on being informative and fun.
Yes, plus the Vegas pub crawl, plus all kinds of great partying. It's going to be amazing. We're going to be right on the strip this year instead of a bit further away where we were last year. So it's a great location. Yeah.
I am looking forward to it. But if I wrench a mighty muscle and get us back on topic on the match that's coming up, what are your predictions?
All right.
It's like, let's start with you, because I like going
Can we
last.
not start with me? Because what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to copy Elise, but I'm going to nod knowingly as if.
Just like sage, like, I agree.
Yeah. So we'll do that.
All right, I'm going with Try on this one.
Yeah, I think Tri showed today that they're very versatile and they've got very strong teams. They understand the meta as better or as good as anyone else can. And yeah, I think they're going to make some waves.
Yeah, I think Tri is really strong, so I'm going to go with Tri. Yeah.
Gorgon Empire are the ones that have the old dark side veterans, which are veterans, as I just said, of Alliance tournaments before. And I actually think I've underlined Gorgon Empire, both because of their ad and because of their talent. And it'll be interesting to see what happens when these teams land on field finally, after this slight delay that we had because of ISP problems. But if we were to guess, what would we think?
I have to imagine that Try is going to be happy to bring Rattlesnakes if they can.
Yep.
They've shown that they are really comfortable with Rattlesnake comps. They've shown they're comfortable bringing a flagship, and Rattlesnake flagships are very effective. That's got to be something that Gorgon has to be ready for. So yeah, and the Try flagship last time wasn't very vulnerable to damps either, because it did almost all its damage with drones. It only, I think, had 1 launcher on it, and the rest was other utility highs. So it's not even really that easy to counter. It's pretty tough to figure out exactly what you're going to bring against that.
I think, despite the Geddon ban, Gorgon is probably going to field armor. Their only foray into shield was the RLML setup that we saw, which was exciting, unfortunately not effective for them. So I feel like they probably are more comfortable in armor based on what they've done so far. Maybe some Stratios,
Perhaps, yeah.
potentially.
Could be. I don't know. I think it's very tricky to guess what either team will bring, because Tri is really good at picking different setups and using different archetypes. And Gorgon always picks something that's kind of weird and not really something you would expect. Like they did the Rapid Light Caracals and Serbs, which no one really expected. They didn't have any Frigate Logi or any Logi at all. So they're kind of a wild card in that regard. But I don't know. I think they're going to try something kitey. And if I were to guess, probably Tri would probably try a very strong control team. Rattlesnakes, maybe. I think they'd feel comfortable with the Rattlesnake.
Don't look at me. I have no clue what they're going to bring.
You think there's probably going to be spaceships, maybe some smart bomb maulers.
I want smart bomb maulers.
Yes.
I want worms and I want a paladin.
I've seen
for
all
fancy
kinds of
effect.
really great
Worms and a
chips.
paladin.
Yeah,
I am a master
that
crafter.
works.
You can't. You
Worms
can't
and Paladin,
understand.
there's
They
there's
have
definitely
worked,
good
yeah.
teams out there
Yeah.
with Worms and Paladins in them. The smart bombs, like I've seen some really great like places for smart bombs and all kinds of different chips in tournament history, because having some smart bombs is so key, and sometimes you can't fit them anywhere else. I've flown a Hugin with like all small smart bombs in the highs, and where you have like all these frigates that get the drones after them. It's like come towards the Hugin and then you blow up the drones after them. I've seen Guardians with like reps and then like 2 smart bombs.
Yeah. We've seen Bazzi in the tournament actually thus far, and it looked really good. It was even against the drone comp, and I think if it wasn't for the reverse tie-dye at the end of the match, it would have worked really well. So that was pretty cool to see, and I don't think it'll be the last time.
But I'm going to delve into sort of a cold reading approach and just say we're going to break the meta this time. I'm not going to say this for every match from now on. Eventually, I'll be right. Let's go into space to the commentators, Bacchanalian and the Pothney.
My nerds, welcome back to the casting booth with Apoth and Bacchanalian. We have a fantastic match here for you between Tri and the Gorgon Empire. 2 flagships on the field. Back, why don't you tell us a bit about that?
Well, I'm going to apologize right up front to Sir Squeebles because there will be yelling coming from me. 2 flagships, 2 shiny flagships, a flagship Rattlesnake for Triumvirate that we saw earlier, and a flagship Armageddon for Gorgon Empire. So what we have from Triumvirate is a double Rattlesnake comp, just like was predicted. 2 Eos, Carries, Worm, triple Mollusk, Merlin, and 2 Frigate Lodges in Bantams. So Triumvirate may be learning something from Shadow Cartel, and hopefully they do it right. Gorgon Empire, in the meantime, is Dami, Armageddon, Eos, Onero's triple Heretic, triple Merlin, and Punisher. Those Mollusks are going to have a really tough time against 3 Merlins, 3 Heretics, and a Punisher. We'll see how long they last, and perhaps, just perhaps, they will break through these Bantams with that. So I believe the match is... Oh, there is a countdown aborted, so it's going to be just a second. So let's talk about these setups. What are you expecting to see here, Apothy?
So firstly, I want to know what the Dominix is about. We've seen it kind of not appear as it did last year in the winners bracket. We saw a bit in the losers bracket last weekend. You know, sentries are still kind of good, but the overall low DPS and the point increases made it very, very difficult to run. We do have the match starting in...
No, they actually aborted the countdown. So we have a little time to talk about what we see here.
So the matchup, as you say, the Heretics are going to do a fantastic work against those damps. The damp 4 will need to be sorted very, very quickly by the Tri team. Got a very, very heavy drone setup, as we've come to expect. Those Rattlesnakes doing a ton of drone damage, as well as their potential cruise missile or smart bomb highs, or maybe even newts. We've got the EOS as well, bonus to heavy drones, tons of heavy drones coming from the team. Then the carries, which I think is an interesting choice. You can fit 1 more damp to that than you can a Mollusk, though obviously it's a lot more points. If you're in a kiting team, you could fit like a defensive scram to it. Obviously that's not the case here. We've got the worm, standard, we usually see triple worms. We've only got 1 in this case. But yeah, I think this is definitely going to be a very, very cool match as soon as it gets underway.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, the Dami choice as well. I'm guessing additional newting power alongside the Armageddon. Maybe not as large of a ball of newting, but it doesn't appear to have anything fit in the high slots that are visible. So some sort of utility high slot setup here. The EOS and Ishtar, again, drone DPS, I really think the support war is going to be key here. You have an E-War support wing from Triumvirate. You have a damage and support killing support wing from Gorgon Empire. And I really think it's going to come down to basically what we're going to see happen, I think, right away. The Mollusk will likely win the damp war unless those Merlins somehow beat them out to it, which is possible. We've seen it happen. But if those Merlins win the initial damp war, you know, it's going to be difficult for Gorgon, but really the Heretics are just going for the kill right away. So I guess the Bantams are going to have some work to do.
I mean, one of the things about the Dom, it has a massive drone bay. So, you know, some setups we see, we have kind of a limited drone base. You've got 1, maybe 1.5 flights of drones available for your choice. Dommy, huge drone bay, you can choose different types of damage. So you can pick the resist hold of your opponent and really, really hit into it. And that is so important, like when you've got enemy logi, because you know you can have anywhere up to like a 30% difference. That's 30% of your damage gained just by having a good drone choice.
So it looks like we're still having some issues. I think somebody. Okay, we have gotten the go ahead. We have a 30-second countdown now. I guess one of the pilots was not responding. I don't know if he disconnected here, but I think we're underway. We are ready to go. Faffy Waffy's given the okay in local, as has the other captain. So we are on the countdown, and this should be really interesting from the start. Let's see. Let me look at the ranges.
Both teams have come in from pretty much max range. They want to feel each other out before they get into the action, kind of make those decisions. We do praise teams for taking a second, going, okay, this is what we've got, this is what they've got. What are we going to do here, guys? They get the optimal choice before they get going.
The Gorgon Empire team actually came in at about 40 kilometers there. Looks like the 50-kilometer. Oh, here we go. Match is underway.
Hey.
So Tri was max range. Tri looks like they're pulling back a little bit here, getting a little bit of range. Drones are out on the field.
Yeah,
and damage right on Mollis.
Immediately being target painted. Looks like Damps very quickly went to the Dommy and the Geddon. I wonder if they're range or scan res. If you scan res them, they take a million years to lock out everything, really delaying the time it takes for them to apply their damage.
Absolutely the case. We have Warrior 2s, Valk 2s, and Geckos crossing the field, about to arrive on the Gorgon Empire team, however. So we'll see what Triumvirate's got up their sleeve. A Heretic already stripped their shields.
Yeah, they're trying to get rid of those Heretics, trying to save their Mollis and frigates. Most importantly, their Logi frigates from dying. That Heretic's taking a lot of damage, bleeding into structure already. The reps are on it, but they're split on the other Heretic as well. It's going to structure, and the first ship of the match is... Whoa! He's healing back. I was ready there.
He will go down shortly. I think they're not going to keep him up forever. But in the meantime, there's a Mollis about to go down into structure, so maybe they do get that trade. You know, this is something we talked about earlier when we were at the desk, is spending a lot of time with your main damage focused on a support ship can cost you.
Both teams are doing. Looks like we switched to another Heretic now. The Heretic of Raze going down into armor. Can they switch the reps in time? Reps are on the two wrong Heretics, and there goes. There pops. Nice target switching from the Tri team. Looks like Gorgon are still focusing down that Mollis. It is not breaking. They need to change their choice. Looks like they're TPing at one of the Bantams of Starfleet Commander. He is going to be next on the DPS race, but that Mollis going into the slightest sliver of structure.
Oh, there he goes. All right, so again, the support war happening early here. Heretic, another one, he raced off the field. And the third one, we'll see if he keeps up, but at this point, Triumvirate are protecting those
Heretics
damps.
from Mollis, that's a perfectly good trade. Another Mollis now losing all its shield, boosting back up, got the shields on it there from the Bantams. One of the great things about the Bantams is that because they're frigates, they have a really high scan resolution. They lock so quickly. I mean, if that had been a cruiser Logi, it would have not locked that Mollis in time.
And perhaps that's some of the difficulty the Oneros has had. You know, again, doesn't have the scan resolution. That's why that target switch was great. If they were all locked up from the beginning, the Oneros has no indication of what's going to be taking damage next, and he has to try to respond. So Punisher into a little bit of armor here. So we're still on support. Really, no damage coming across the big ships as of yet. I saw a Newt there for a second.
I'd love to see how the positioning is on this screen. I mean, it looks like the blue team here, the Gorgon Empire team, they are kind of balled up together with the red team, the Tri team, a little bit more spread out. With
the flagship getting right out front. And that sphere of no cap we talked about is right up there in the front, and it looks like I see drones heading his way now.
Are heading towards again. Let's see how it tanks. It is the flagship, so it can possibly tank a little bit better than the other ships. It's dropped through its shield. Let's see how this armor tank rolls. Taking chunks of damage. Come on, need to get those reps on it. There, the reps land. It starts going up, but it is taking full damage from those rattlesnake cruisers.
Damage on both rattlesnakes right now. God's Cold Blood was taking more. He looked like he was primary for a second. They might have switched to War God. War God is the flagship, I should mention. So that will be a choice that they have made. They are informed of that in local. They know which one it is. Meanwhile, that Armageddon flagship for Nomada is really struggling.
Slowly dropping. Looks like they may have overheated their DPS to come over that. It's going down into the very bottom of armor now. It's in the red bar. Looks like DPS just isn't being applied to the Tri team. Gorgon is losing so much time, and they're losing their Armageddon.
Yeah, and you know, it's something that Fozzie had talked about earlier. These make squishy flagships. They don't have the Tech 2 resist profile. They are a Tech 1 battleship, and as a result, that given that you can't fit resist mods that are officer or faction on them, they have trouble tanking. But in this case, he's pulling back.
Looks like they may have run out of overheat. Some drones might have been spotted. Well, looks like it has rep drones on the Armageddon. That might be what helping us catch up. But we can see from the screen it's on fire.
Gorgon Empire are testing the tank now on this EOS. They've swapped to it. Reps have landed on it now, but they're kind of probing around to see if they can get past these logistics. And they are breaking that EOS. He's going to go into armor very, very shortly. If that happens, he is a shield tank, so he will go down quickly. Meanwhile, that Armageddon is about to drop into structure, so he is at very low armor. This is really a DPS race we just had had a Heretic erased off the field, but it really is going to come down to, can they get through this Eos who's now in armor, or is the Armageddon going to break first?
Yeah, trading a Flaggeddon for one of the 2 Eoses is not going to be a great trade. They've already lost 3 Heretics against just for a Molus. Another kind of big, poor trade for them is going to go very, very badly. I mean, both ships now seem to be holding. Again, maybe they can't overheat anymore. Both sides are holding pretty well. We've got newts now going onto the one command ship of Gorgon Empire. They might be trying to newt off the links, possibly, to try and break that resist tank, helping the Logi, helping the Geddon's tank. We'll have to see whether or not that is successful. At the same time, the Eos is bleeding into
armor. He's bleeding armor damage, but he's pulled back. Meanwhile, the Armageddon's almost at full armor now. They've switched damage on a Faffy Waffy's Eos, it looks like. It's really, they're testing each other. They're trying to test each other's logistics, and meanwhile, Triumvirate are out ahead. So if Gorgon Empire don't break through here, then they will lose this match on points
DPS
eventually.
Switching to QUP in the Worm at the moment. He's dropping into shield. There goes some of his armor. Armor Met's going to land.
Oh, and the Reps are lost.
Reps have gone back onto the Eos, so the Worm will probably drop here. Reps are off the Eos. Can they land quickly enough on the Worm? It doesn't look like...
Nope, he's erased. It looks like to me that the Worm might have gotten out of range of those frigate logistics. I'm not sure. All of a sudden the Reps just dropped.
At the same time, that Eos bleeding into structure.
Oh, Faffy Waffy is in trouble.
No Reps landing on it. Looks like the Eos is damped. Probably can't lock it. And there we go. Losing Eos. That's a big chunk of the Gorgon DPS
now
gone.
with the nose definitely well in front. And the Rattlesnake God's Cold Blood is taking quite a bit of damage. There are Reps on it, but we'll see. I mean... I don't know. Gorgon Empire seems like they're splitting damage between an Eos and a Rattlesnake right now.
Let's look at the sit rep here. Try down a Worm and a Molus. Gorgon down an Eos. All 3 Heretics and a Punisher. Try are in a commanding lead here. It's not impossible for Gorgon to kind of come back if Try makes some mistakes, but Try are definitely in a solid lead here.
Yeah, and with Phaeton 1 and that Ishtar going down here, it looks like pretty quickly he's going to drop. That Oneris is not keeping up with the Reps, so that is just another big chunk of damage off the field for Gorgon Empire. So at this point, Try is really, I think, just cleaning up. They've got a substantial lead. They have 2 Rattlesnakes and 2 Eos on the field that are just going to pick apart the rest of these ships.
I mean, I feel like I must ask. That Dommy is 20 points. You could have easily bought, if you want the extra newts and the highs of the Dommy, you could have easily bought another Geddon. It's got less of a drone bay, but you gain 3 points. You could have upgraded your Merlins into something else. You know, you know, 3 points is a big deal.
Well, or alternatively, you could do something like. I don't know, you could bring a different mix of your smaller ships. Maybe you bring triple Eos.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
drop
you could
the Ishtar,
upgrade that
drop
Ishtar
the Dommy,
into an Eos
triple
quite easily.
Eos. Right, and you could drop the Ishtar and get another one. So
here goes the Flaggeddon. Once Try know that they've won this match, they're going for Flaggeddons.
We are going to see, hopefully, an expensive shiny explode here. We will get to see the kill mail if he does, in fact, die. And with 3.5 minutes and him almost in structure, he will die. So, meanwhile, we have the Merlin going to armor.
Micro jump drived. Way out of damage range, not out of the arena.
Not out of
Brilliantly,
the arena.
Surprisingly. Just kind of prolonging the inevitable here, but it looks like Gorgon aren't going down without fighting to the last man.
Yeah, he is at 104. Interestingly, he is still going away. He landed at 100. He's at 105 now. He needs to be careful. I mean, he's an awfully slow ship. He should be able to turn around, but he's not yet. Meanwhile, the Oneros now stripped of its shields.
Stripped of its cap as well. Newt's going on it. I can't tell quite what from, but that Eos is in a lot. Sorry, Oneros is in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, I think he's not long for this world. There is not much that they're going to be able to do to save him at this point. It's a matter of his local tank if he's got one, and with that little bit of cap that he might be able to pull back, there's not going to be much to save him. I really wonder, is that Geddon going to be able to survive the match? He's at really low structure. He's still taking damage from something. I'm going to look and see what has caught up to him. There are, in fact, some drones on him. Looks like Valk 2s across the field.
Down, Flaggeddon shortly to follow. Try have managed to keep their Flag Snake alive. They can use that for the rest of the tournament, which they will be going through to. I'm not sure who they'll be going against today, but Try have had a great day.
And wait a minute, those drones have pulled away from the Armageddon.
What?
The drones have pulled away from the Armageddon. I can't believe. He's like 1% structure. There he goes. 1% structure. It was like the drones turned around and ran. They thought he was dead, and he wasn't. Dommy now into armor, and at this point, Triumvirate are just mopping up here.
I was just going to say, Try have had a fantastic day. They beat Agony Empire, a fantastic tourney team.
Yes.
They now beat the Gorgon Empire, a fantastic tourney team bolstered by Darkside, one of the best tourney teams we saw in last year's tournament.
Merlin running out. Lightwave's Merlin has run out to the flagship wreck. Make sure they get that loot. Always useful, probably expensive, hopefully expensive. Meanwhile, Dommy's about to drop into structure. He's going to go down. So the Triumvirate flagship lives to see and fight another day.
Which Merlin did you say was going out to collect the loot? Because the Dommy and the Merlin is good as an act of spite. If he loots the wrecks, try and kill that Merlin to try and force the non-drop. But the Dommy goes down, another Merlin goes down. Looks like the last of the Gorgon Empire ships are going to drop in what was a fantastic match.
No, that was Lightwave's Merlin. Let's see if he survives. I have a feeling we're going to see him do a Benny Hill around the arena now that he's got the loot secured, hopefully.
If only I had my trombone with me, I would play that music.
We do have the other Merlin caught neutered, probably going down. So Triumvirate's going to have probably a good 30 seconds to focus all their attention at this Merlin. He's going to have quite a job to salvage that that loot. He is running around at almost 3 clicks a second, so he may be able to outrun things, but we shall see. There is a Merlin of Annie Gardel on the Triumvirate team. Perhaps he can run him down, web him, and get the kill.
Yep.
And never mind.
Well, that's
Wow.
the end of the match. We will be now going into winners bracket matches, so we'll send it back to the guys on the analysis desk.
That'll teach me to bet against Triumvirate. That's the second mistake I've done with them in today. Wow. Brain farts all over the place.
Another thing we learned is don't try to get loot from Gorgon.
Yes.
They were committed to that. They flew the Merlin out, and then like I don't know whether they shot the wreck at some point. I don't know whether the loot was still in the wreck or the Merlin got it. Then the Merlin ran himself out of the arena, so no one gets the loot.
The most spiteful boundary violation of the tournament thus far, which is pretty cool.
Agmar would be proud.
Agmar would be proud.
It's usually best though when blues shoot the wreck though, when you're trying to loot. Shooting wrecks, best practice. With that, we close out our elimination bracket matches for the day. What did you guys think?
I think there were some really great matches, especially these last couple have been really solid
Really
teams
good.
going up against each other, yeah, some just like teams that are going to be real tough for even the people that lose these next 4 matches to come up against.
We are certainly, we've gotten rid of all of the teams that shouldn't be here, I feel.
All these teams should be here in their own way.
Yeah,
but, now we have the teams that should be here more than others.
Good. But yeah, the quality of matches can only improve because now we're getting closer and closer to those fabled Alliance tournament prize ships. Everybody wants their hands on some of those.
Yes, they're quite overpowered this year and also super trolly. I love them.
And
yeah.
you made them yourself.
Yes.
So this is
I was like, what is the trolliest ship I could make in like this meta? Drones and ECM.
Yes. Hilo with an ECM bonus, not good. Not good. On the bright side, only a couple people will fly them, and based on recent history, they will probably tank 8 guns and accidentally die on a station somewhere. So.
These things happen.
Yeah.
These things do happen. So with that, we're on to undefeated bracket matches, where the first match will be Exodus versus the Tuskers.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yes, this will be
As
an explosive
am I.
match.
Yeah, these are 2 really strong small gang groups. Tuskers really active in LoSec, Exodus really active in both LoSec and in like Syndicate in that area. They've both shown some really great stuff from it. Like these matches in the tournament so far.
And Exodus went very far in last year's tournament as well, so they've got everything they need.
Yeah, Exodus came in 3rd. They've come in, 3rd in the last tournament. They've come in quite high in some other tournaments. They've done really well in SCLs. I think they're really hoping to try to get at least that far, if not farther this year, because if they do it this year, they get tournament prize ships.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is, if you lose this next match, you have to face either Tri, who we just saw with the Flaghorn, or Flatel Snake, that's the one, and or Shadow Cartel, or any one of the great teams that are in the elimination bracket, and you definitely do not want to do that. So I think this is a must-win for Exodus and Tuskers.
Well, as for bans, Exodus banned the Gila and the Ishtar, and the Tuskers banned the Sleipnir and the Rattlesnake.
All right.
So a lot of the common metas that we saw throughout yesterday and a little bit of today are off the table. So the drone kiting teams are gone. The rattlesnake core teams are gone. It does leave Tinkers open.
Yeah,
though.
this is really screams Tinkers, at least to me.
I mean, you don't get the Tinker plus Ishtar, which has been a very common variant of it.
Right.
But yeah, there are definitely Tinker options available.
It is worth noting as well that both teams have flown very similar setups. Like they've both used Gilas similarly in different setups. So I think this one you could risk another mirror because it seems like there's a lot of similar thinking between the two teams. So this should be good. And by
Yes.
good, I mean this is the one I will be most nervous about today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's
I'm
some,
going that far.
There's some nerve-wracking matches today. I just want to
Yeah,
say.
this is the
I
one.
may have a stroke.
Yeah.
But I mean,
well,
that's coming later. But yeah, Exodus and Tuskers, strangely enough, neither banned damps, neither banned strong damps at least. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot of control from both sides here.
Yeah.
How do you think you can deal with that? Like the drones are almost all out. So what are you going to do? Like
Marauders
against-
are definitely one way to do it. The Golem is not banned, and it'll do a great job against a lot of these really heavy.
Do you think with
teams.
these bands, like they're kind of psyching each other out, and they're both going to take like this Marauder Tinker team, and then just kind of be super sad about it?
Bacchanalian, you want to talk about having a stroke. The
Like who's
comment-
going to blink first? Is
His
my
head would
question.
explode. So, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's possible they could be doing that. It's possible that they could just try to come like with a really high DPS Vexor Navy Vexor team. That's still open as well. So there's quite a lot of options on the table.
I think this is one of the most interesting sets of bands. I think it covers more ground than a lot of the other sets of bands have today. Which
Yeah,
is
they're
why
very
it's-
broad.
Yeah.
They both went the tri-tactic and both of them did the broad ones.
Right.
Yeah, the other actually interesting thing, I don't remember what their flagships are. But with the Rattlesnake band, if either of these guys, Exodus had a
I believe it's a
Newton
Geddon.
ship, yeah.
Yeah.
But if any of them did have a Rattlesnake, then
could
this would
bring
be a
that
great
one.
time
Yeah.
to bring it out. Yeah.
Maybe we'll see some flagships flaxing. I'm not sure. The map still isn't ready, so we can't go just yet. But
We'll look forward a little bit to these. Like we've got 4 awesome
These are all good.
undefeated
Yeah.
round
Yes. These are
undefeated bracket matches. Yes, there we are.
to continue using the Hyperion. My Hyperion
Yes.
is flying full speed
Yes.
for the rest of the 4 matches. And Tactical Narcotics team has done a lot to surprise us and everybody else.
Yeah, I don't think very many people would have predicted that they'd be this deep into the winners bracket, but
Yeah.
they're here. They've been getting these wins on teams that everyone expected them to not be able to overcome, and I think it's pretty safe to say that the community consensus is that Camel is the favorites here.
Yes.
Right.
But that's what people have said before to TNT. So if TNT can like overcome Camel, then I will like straight up, I will put on like a TNT hat, and it'll be the TNT hype train. I will find the hat, even
We'll
if
get
it's
you a conductor's
it might
hat,
be in
yeah.
Ireland,
Yeah.
but I'll make the trip.
Remember that there aren't any trains in space, so
Yes.
you'll have to find something else. But I can make you first officer of the Hyperion. That'll work. So, and then we have Road Capel versus Pandemic Legion.
Yes.
That's the. We might have to have some sort of EMT team standing by for Elise Randolph here.
Yeah. The levels of smug will be so high no matter the outcome.
Either,
Like
either,
the
you,
smug will be palpable. Like
Yeah.
you could go like this and feel smug all over the place.
either you will have a stroke or us 3 will choke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll choke in my wave of a smug.
There'll be smug no matter what from someone.